and welcome back to Catherine's Couch. I hope you've had a great day so far, a great week. I hope this is finding you at a time that is nice. I first want to thank you for spending any part of your time with me. It's such a privilege. For this week's Catherine's Couch, we're going to be covering how your people will feel like home. Finding the people that make you feel the most comfortable with who you are. This is part of my series that I've been doing before I turned 31 in my hierarchy of self-love needs. Now I want to paint a scene for you. You're surrounded by people, but you feel completely alone. I have felt this way a fair amount in my life. I felt this way right before I graduated college, actually. I felt really self-conscious for a fair amount of time about how I didn't really feel like I fit with a group of people. I've had friends throughout my life, but I've always struggled, I felt socially due to my ADHD. I've often felt like the butt of a joke, or like just social things did not come easily to me. And especially after graduating college, I felt like I had exhausted all of the groups of people that I was supposed to find my forever friends with. And I felt really sad about that. And I felt really shameful about that. And I'm happy to say I don't feel anything like how I felt then now. Nowadays, I can have one conversation with one of my friends and feel like myself again. That is what this video is about. How to find the people that feel like home to you. I've spent a lot of time in my life feeling like I needed to mask who I was to the outside. And I know that that is typical for people who have ADHD, neurodivergent people, whose social cues don't come easily to. Like for a lot of my life, I felt like I was trying to not stand out, and I was putting so much effort in seeming a certain way that I put zero, if very minimal effort whatsoever in how I felt myself. I thought, in order to be socially accepted, I have to do these things. And no part of my psyche was I thinking about acceptance as a two-way street. So I would find myself in situations, in friend groups, in friendships where I felt like I was playing a part really well. I've always loved performing. I may be playing a part well, but I had this feeling of empty deep inside that I thought was just the price I paid or would have to pay for any sort of social life. As I got older, the more time I spent with myself, the more time I became my own friend, the better standards I had for friendships in my life, and the easier it was for me to realize that I also mattered when meeting new people, that my comfort was not only something that existed, but something that I should value. There is a quiet exhaustion that comes with performance, and it was very tiresome and very lonely. Your people don't exhaust you. You leave conversations feeling fuller, not drained. Most importantly, when you find your people, feel safe. There's a reason I talk about the hierarchy of self-love. In order to find people who make you feel safe, you need to know what you feel like when you're safe. You need to know who you are. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have in your life. The better you know yourself and your honest beliefs and your honest feelings and your honest experiences, the better you know you, the better people can know you. I have noticed in my life that vulnerability is the price I pay for intimacy. And intimacy is the thing I wanted in my friendship. I met some of the best friends I've ever had in my life when I was a lot older. I wouldn't trade their friendships for anything. Friendships deepened with me over time by sharing things I felt weren't perfect about me. A lot of my friendships really deepened in my wedding planning period of time. I was really struggling with identity during my wedding planning. Every time I reached out to somebody and was vulnerable, I felt caught way more often than I would ever think prior. I never anticipated that part of my wedding day that would feel so full of love would be the people I surrounded myself with that weren't just my husband. But I was so blown away by the love in my life of my friends. The night before my wedding, we had a welcome party at my parents' house. And I left the welcome party and I just kind of wanted to sit down. I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to relax. And my friends noticed, and we spent the night sitting on the ground in between all of our rooms, laughing and eating pizza. One of my best friends, whose wedding I'm going to, she steamed all my dresses for my wedding. People showed up for me in such sincere ways. One of my other best friends, I helped advocate for me, when we were blocking the wedding and what side I was standing on. She's like, Catherine, don't you want to stay on this side? They helped me find my voice. They helped me be myself because I shared parts of me with them. The one whose wedding I'm at right now, she had asked throughout the week things I loved and places places we like to go to in my hometown. And she asked where was the best pizza, the best ice cream. And we didn't really eat that much on the welcome party, my husband and I. When we got back to the yacht club we were all staying at, she had gone and gotten pizza and ice cream for me. And it was the only thing I ate that night. It is scary to let people see you. It's scary to be vulnerable. Scary to try, to trust. Trust is something that's built over time. It's a risk that's worth taking. Your people will feel like home. You can only recognize home once you know what home feels like. And the home of who you are is a home worth getting to know. Sometimes, at least in my life, people who aren't meant to be in your life forever show up first, or maybe are easier to see because the fact that they don't fit is harder to ignore. That doesn't mean your people don't exist. You just haven't met them yet. Pay attention to the people you feel lighter around. Pay attention to yourself. Remember that not everyone is meant to stay, and that's not a failure. People are in your life for reasons, for seasons, for lifetime. Outgrowing a season is just as valuable. A season is just as valuable. Like, we are all alive on the same planet at the same time for something. What a blessing that is. How exciting. It's not your job to be everything to everyone else. It's not your job to fit in every room that exists. It's your job to make a home where you live and where you sit. It's your job to get to know where you are and who you are and to let people in, to live. The best direction to head in, the best way to go, is the path that's lit up by your light. You don't know where to go, look inward and listen. Loneliness you've been carrying is not a failure of who you are. It's a sign that you want more. It's a sign that something's meant for you that maybe you haven't seen yet. And how exciting is that? I wrote a lot of thank you cards during my wedding season for my bridal showers and various events. And some of the cards, I wrote cards to them that made me cry. And there are people in my life, there are cards that I got to write that said, if little me knew that I would know you, she would be all right. There are people who I know I will know for years to come that I only just met. What a beautiful life. How exciting. If you haven't found your community yet, I look forward to the moment you do. I just want you to know you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. And if no one has told you yet today, let me be the first to say, you're always on time for your own life. I love you. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.